Welcome into another episode of Tailgate Talk SEC. I am Will Thomas, and today we are continuing the transfer portal recap series with the Kentucky Wildcats. Now, Mark Stoops at Kentucky for the past few years, or past a lot of years, I guess, he's been relatively successful, right? At least for what Kentucky football kind of has been traditionally, but that got stale. They parted ways, and Will Stein came in from Oregon, and he's already done an incredible job in my mind what he was able to do in the transfer portal, given the fact that he was still coaching Oregon through the semifinals of the college football playoff, was incredible. I mean, he did an unbelievable job, being able to balance his prep with the Ducks and also the talent acquisition and the roster construction at Kentucky. But first, obviously, when you have the portal, you can't just bring guys in. Some guys have to leave also. And the biggest departure is quarterback Cutter Boley. He's going to Arizona State because Sam Levitt left that void, so he's going to fill it. Boley, he was a true freshman this year, and he was pretty legit. He came in after some injuries. He played very well. He was a good dual threat with his legs and his arm. I mean, he led them to an absolute drudging of a more talented Florida team, even though they were terrible this year. But Boley's a big loss. They also lost Cam Dooley at safety. Dante Dowdell at running back, he's a pretty big loss. He is with the Georgia Bulldogs now. And Troy Stellato at receiver, he was an experienced guy. They're losing him. But going to who they brought in. Obviously, the biggest get is at quarterback. We thought it might be Sam Levitt for a minute, but it's not. They ended up getting Kenny Minchey from Notre Dame. Now, if you remember, this saga was pretty entertaining because he took a visit to Nebraska, committed to Nebraska, and then there was a flip. He flipped to Kentucky after committing to Nebraska out of the portal. Now, yeah, Nebraska isn't like this, big, bad, scary program on the portal. Kentucky going and flipping a quarterback from the Cornhuskers and Matt Rule seems pretty important. Right, like that's a pretty big win for a program like Kentucky. And Minchey, he was behind CJ Carr this past year. He lost that battle. But we all saw how good CJ Carr was. And now he's like a top 5 Heisman guy for next year, I think, in the current odds. And the quarterback battle came down to the wire. Kenny Minchey, if at all, is not that much behind CJ Carr. In fact, I might think that he has more potential than CJ Carr, given his natural athletic ability, his arm talent. Kenny Minchey is a great ball player. So Will Stein getting him, obviously I trust Will Stein's offense as we've seen what they've been doing at Oregon. I think Minchey is a really, really good add to that offense, or catalyst for the offense at quarterback and the skill players around him. He also brought in Nick Anderson from LSU. Now, Anderson, at receiver, started his career at Oklahoma and had an incredible first season. Then he missed pretty much all of the second year with an injury. Came to LSU, similar story. The offense as a whole wasn't great, but he was not healthy for most of the year. Nick Anderson is such a good football player. He's incredible. We saw it all 3 years ago. So a lot of it is kind of forgotten. He is a really good receiver when he is healthy. He is an outside, jump ball, deep threat kind of guy. And, Kentucky's kind of been missing that elite downfield receiver for a while. You go through some of the players that they've had at the skill positions. It's been a lot of, slot guys running horizontally. Nick Anderson can be your vertical guy. So that's really going to unlock something at Kentucky that their offense hasn't had in a while. And then in the backfield, they brought in C.J. Baxter from Texas. They lost McGowan to the pros. They lost Dowdell to Georgia. So bringing in C.J. Baxter at running back is a massive pickup. He was a former 5-star guy. He's also been battling injuries. Will Stein, what he did in the portal with Nick Anderson and now with C.J. Baxter, he's going after players that, we're very confident overall as a sport that, they're really good. We just haven't been able to see them yet because of their injury issues. And there's kind of a give and take there because, sure, they haven't gotten a whole lot of snaps. There's not a bunch of proven production. On the other side of that, and kind of the glass half full that I'm looking at is for Kentucky, there's not really much tax on them physically. They're still going to come out there with the freshness of a first or second year player, but sort of the experience and the reps of a veteran. So I think you're kind of getting the best of both worlds there because Baxter and Nick Anderson, they're really good football players. They're really good. Baxter's going to be one of the best running backs in the SEC. Maybe not, because the SEC is loaded with running back talent, but Baxter's going to be really good. I think he's probably, he has the potential to be an upgrade over the Dowdell-McGowan combo. That's the kind of player that Baxter is. And then defensively, their biggest add on that side of the ball was Tavion Wallace, the linebacker from Arkansas. This guy's an absolute stud. He can be a really good quarterback for that defense. Coming over from the Hogs, he's a physical player. He really is that field general kind of guy. So you're going to have a really smart quarterback of your defense there in Tavion Wallace. And other guys on defense, they brought in Aaron Gates and Jordan Castell from Florida in the secondary. They brought in Mark Manford, the third, a corner from Missouri. There's a lot of really good ads on this transfer portal class, and there's not really that superstar, right? I mean, the closest one to that would be Kenny Minchey, but just because there's not that superstar doesn't mean it's not a really well built out class. And Will Stein at Kentucky, something about this is really exciting to me. I don't think that they'll really necessarily compete for in the conference this year, but they're probably going to pull an upset or two. I think they could. This roster is being built out really well. It's being just like filled out from the bottom up. There aren't really many massive holes on it for right now. Will Stein's got Kentucky in a good spot. And I think in a few years, you'll start seeing Kentucky, beating ranked teams, getting into that AP poll. We're kind of making a push, especially if the playoff expands even more, maybe making a push at that field. I really do believe that Will Stein at Kentucky can make something happen, and it is going to start with this transfer portal class. So that'll do it for the Kentucky transfer portal recap. I'm really excited to see this team next year. I think Will Stein is putting together such a good roster. He's building it the right way. He's not overcommitting to one position. One guy I forgot to bring up too is that he brought in Lance Hurd from Tennessee at offensive tackle. So he's really building out all those key spots. I'm so excited to see what this roster fully looks like when we get to fall camp and the season begins. And that'll do it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Tailgate Talk SEC. If you have been enjoying the transfer portal recaps and also my college basketball stuff, subscribe to me here. And for the portal recaps, I will be getting to every school. I'm going alphabetically. So if your school is before, I've already got them up, and I'm coming at you guys with the rest. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I've been Will Thomas, and I will see you next time.